Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make the end for your pegboard toy. Yesterday I showed you how to make the base, the round peg, and the square peg, and I also showed you how to constrain those together. Now if I refer back to my Word document here in the bullet statements are the directions for creating the end. It kind of gives you a sketch on that handout so that you can look at some measurements and get a good idea of what size it needs to be and the shape that you make it. Now this is going to be an in-place component, and what that means is we're going to be working in assembly mode, but we're actually going to create a standard IPP in there. So I'm going to go back to my assembly here, and you can tell it's an assembly because I got my different parts. They show up in my model browser. I have my place command that we're used to by now and constrain. We're going to go over here and we're going to click on create because we're going to create an independent file and we're going to create it in place. This is useful in trying to get parts to fit together that you're not sure how they're going to work. Now your directions tell you to call it end. Mine might not let me do that because I've done this activity many times, but let's see what happens. And do you wish to overwrite? I'm going to overwrite. I'm going to do a brand new end. So I need to look over here at my instructions. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the edge that I'm going to draw on. So I'm going to click on this plane here. And that should flip things around. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click on the pencil. And I'm going to click on that edge again where I want to draw. And I'm also going to click on Project Geometry. And I'll show you what happens there. Again, I'm going to click on that same edge. Now, what Project Geometry has done is it's given me an outline of the part I'm drawing around. So this bolder yellow rectangle, that is actually our pegboard base. The lighter rectangle is the plane that we're drawing on. So here I'm going to use the line tool to create this end, and I'm going to make a profile of it. So you see I got that green dot there. I'm going to go down 0.75. That's how thick I extruded my base. Now I'm going to go in, I'm going to create a dado cut, and a dado cut is a special groove that the base sits in for support. And the dado cut's going to be half the thickness of our material. Our material is 0.75, so half that thickness is going to be 0.375. So I'm going to go into the right. I'm going to actually type this in so that I know that it's accurate. 0.375. Now I'm going to go straight down. I have to go down far enough that my 3-inch pegs can bottom out. Now I know that my pegs are 3 inches. I know that the thickness of my base is 0.75, so I'm going to take 3 minus 0.75. That's going to give me a value of 2.25. Then I'm going to have the same thickness of my base, which, as I said already, is 0.75, so I'll type in that value. And then height-wise, it's not really important how high you go. I believe in the past I've just gone straight up 4 inches, so I'm going to type that in. Then I need to go back over my full thickness, 0.75. I'm going to go straight down 1 inch. And I'm going to enclose that profile. So there I have the outline of my end. I'm going to select Finish Sketch. And I'm going to go to Extrude. And I'll click on that. That's going to go the wrong direction. It needs to go the same direction as my base. So I'm going to say direction 2. And it needs to be the same depth as the pegboard base, which is 3 inches. And I'm going to enter that. Let's see if I can give it a color. What color did we use? Let me look at my handout real quick. I have that open on my Chromebook. Green. Let's see if I can find green. Green polished? Good enough. So now I'm going to hit the return key and go back to my assembly. So I have the end drawn. It fits on there nicely. One thing though is I have this my work plane is still on. See that work plane? That's kind of unsightly. I'm going to go over here to my browser menu and I'm going to right click on work plane, and I'm going to turn off visibility. Now that looks better. Now let's say you're on the computer and you don't see your browser menu. Let me show you an example of that. I'm going to turn my browser menu off. Okay, let's say you're working on a computer like this and you're in assembly and you're like, Mr. Thompson, I can't go in there and turn that work plane off because I don't have my browser. Well, you just go up here to the View tab, go to User Interface, and make sure browser's turned on. Now I can go back to my Assemble menu. Now, I only have one end, and like I said, you only have to create one end. I should be able to come over here to this end. I can either go place and place an end, or I can copy an end. Let's try place first, see if I can find it in there. I wasn't really paying attention if it went in the right spot, so let's check. That is not the right one. Neither is that. So since I was not paying attention, I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to take a different approach. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'm going to go, I'm going to right-click on that end, and I'm going to go copy. And I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to right-click, paste. So there's my other end. It has that work plane on it. And over here, I don't see the work plane feature. But if I expand my second end, there's work plane. I can right-click, turn off visibility, and then that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to right-click, free rotate, and kind of get this into position so that I can assemble it. Sometimes this free rotate is like a bad video game. And then I'll just drag that over. Okay, so let's apply some constraints to finish this out. I'm going to go to Constrain, and I'm going to use my Type Mate and my Solution Mate, and I'm going to go this surface here on the end, and that needs to touch this inside surface. So make sure it selects the whole inside surface. And apply. That looks really goofy. It is on the same plane, but I don't like what happened there. So I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to back out of that one step. So I'm going to redo that constraint. It didn't go the way I wanted it to. Let's try a different one. Type is mate, solution is mate. Let's try this little line right here to this little line on the edge. Okay, I am okay with that. I'm going to click apply. Let's do this little line here, same mate, and we'll mate to that one. Okay. I'm going to close this out. Let's see if I put enough constraints on there. So I'm going to hit little house, and I'm going to go over here. This is my top view. I don't like that as a top view. I'm going to change my views. I'm going to click on this arrow here. I'm going to set current view as front. I'm better with that. Now, let's see if I can grab things and move them around. Pegs still move, so everything looks pretty good there. So I am okay with how that turned out. I've already saved this file on my last video, so now all I need to do is click on the disk icon, and I'm good to go. So do you want to save everything? Yes to all, and click OK. So we should be quite all right now. I believe our next step is to create the mallet head and handle. So until next time, good luck.